good morning everyone. So today I would like to start the JavaScript interview question for front-end developer for 2025 interview question of Geo. Right. So quickly I introduce myself. I have like total of 6 years of experience. I would like to share my interview experience with you, so you be prepared before going to like appearing in interview, and you can easily like be prepared while appearing the interview, and you can easily tackle this kind of a question if you already know. So I explain you line by line and each question the concept behind that. And if you follow my like all the video series of interview, right, so you can easily crack any of interview. So because I like crack more than 15 20 20 interview during my tenure, so I would like to share with some trick also, right, so you can follow. And yeah, and please subscribe my like channel so you can get updated like video of. Yeah, so let's start with that. So I share you the proof of also quickly, so you can see for that Java and full stack role they have like in 28 March 2025, right, you can see the .com, reliance.com, right, so that is part of the Geo. So yeah, that's it, and let's start with that. So you can see very first question they ask, like let x20 and the sort the console.log. So many on think that the output was 1 3 and 20, right, because sort operator, right, but that is wrong, right, because what the JavaScript do behind that, it will convert into the string, right, so it will convert it as a 20 comma 1 comma 3, right. So what happened? So due to lex lexical graphic concept, right, so it will sort as like 1 3 and 20, right. So lexicography, what they do, they convert into the first as a 1 and after that not 3, right, after that 20 and after that 3, right, right, because it will take as a 2 t 20, right, so after 1 it will count as a 20, right, so output is that, right. Let's check with that. What's late, okay. Hmm, you can see, right, my and output also same, right, 120 and 3, right, understood. That is little bit tricky, you need to understand that part. Okay, let's go to the uh, third question, the second question, sorry. So what was that? So for war keyword, right, that is has a like a global scope, right, so it, if you console log that part, 1 second, abc, right, if you console, if you console only a, right, so then it will print 1, right, But if you print, because let has a block scope, right? Outside of block let and cons not, right? So it will give you the reference error. uh, so if you run that part, right, so you can see B has not defined reference error, right? Reference error. So in C case also, if you singly print only A, right, in that case it will give you 1, right? And if you print C, that is also give you the reference error, right? Understood that concept? So third question they ask about that, right? A second. So what happened in there, that, right? So in the, if you add the sum of like point 1 and 3, right? So some of thinking that that give you true, right? But that is false, because if you adding 1 point and point 3, right, it will slightly more than uh, the point 3, right? So it will greater than the point 3, right? So it will give you false, right? Let's run, right? Let's go to the third question. So what was the output of that? In previously I explained you, right? In the JavaScript, right, ECMAScript, that will convert it into the string to string, right? So that will also convert as a array as a 1 1 2 3, right? So if 1 2 3 equal to 1 2 3, that will give you true, right? True. Let's quick. If you have any doubt, right, you can ask in the comment below, right? So I explain you, but yeah, try to follow my tricks and tip so you can easily understand what was that console dot non uh, what happened in the non case, right? Non not equal to even itself, right? That the concept behind that, right? So it will give you false, because not a number itself not equal to itself, right? So if you want to know about, you can see the false, right? So that's the concept behind that question. Let's quickly go the sixth question. So that is a 2D array, right? uh, what happened, you can see that is a zero index, right? Zero index and 1 and 2, right? So what happened in the first console, they ask about that nested of 0 and 1, right? So what was the 0 1 zeroth position? That is a zeroth position, right? And 1 0 and 1, so output would be here 2, right? And similarly they ask about tooth position, right? First array give you the position, so 0 1 and 2 7, right? And 0 position, so it will give you 7, right? So if you run, you can see the output. 2 and 7, right? That is basically, if you they ask about, right, 0 and 1 position, right? So it will give you 1 as a 8, right? So that the concept. is that. Hmm? Understood that concept? Okay. If you they ask about 2 here, so 9, right? If they ask about here just like that 1 and 1, right? So it will give you 1 position and 1, right? 5, right? So that the concept you need to understand. Yeah. So seventh question, so they ask about that. That is very important question. 7, 8, and 9 question, right? Many interview if you appear, right, they ask about that. So they basically they give some build error, right? You need to make a function. So if you give error like that, right, so you need to convert it into that, right? So I explain you how you write that function for that, right? So let's make a function. So what was the function name? Build error. Let's say you make a function of build error. Hmm. So initial, you don't have anything, right? So I initial, for initial you can do this way and make a constant for result. Hmm. Assign that value I initial, and again make a inner function for that. Here you need to pass spread operator and argument. Check the length if check if the length is equal to 0, then in that case result return, otherwise you need to push argument written. In last line you need to return that mean return inner, right? So let's check. You can see, right, it will convert into the output like that, right? So what we did, first of all we build error, right? Take initial function, assign that initial value, right? Make a inner function for argument what you pass, check the length is equal to not as equal to 0, right? And again you need to push the argument and return the inner, right? So and last you need to pass that inner function, right? That is a simple question, right? Function. So that is like you need to understand the concept behind that, right? So, and similarly, if they ask about that, use some like that. If you given that, right? So for bracket function, right? In output they want like that, right? So for that you need to write function. For that also explain you how you can write that function. Inner, and after that use arrow operator for that. Check next equal to undefined condition, also you need to check undefined. In that case return value, otherwise return bracket value comma next, right? Otherwise return inner. So that the thing. So let's check a second it this question. You can see right output like that in bracket. Hmm. If they want like output that like that, so you need to practice this, right? If they want any pattern, right? So that if they want three result output, right? So how you can like how you can perform, right, sorting and reducing and get that particular value, right? So you need to practice more of the array. So the simple thing is that in array, right? Like how you practice this, right? Then you because there is lot of pattern, right, in the array, right? There is not infinite possibility, right? They ask anything, right? Complex array, they can add some value here, they can add some string here, right? So you need to understand, you need to concept, and you need to make practices every day for like array thing or object thing, right? Because that two thing like mainly use. So practice this thing. uh, if you not understand that part, right, you can ask me, I explain you again. So third question they ask, last question, nine question, and sorry, second last nine question, they give you same error, right, like that, right? Again you can see, and they want output like that, right? So flatten array, what of the concept of the flatten array, I explain you. Let's say remove that. Let's say pass or store that result into constant, and after that make a loop, so iterate the constant, check if it is item is array is array, then push in the result, push that item else. Mm, in that you need to pass that nested one. Flatten array, what was that issue? Flatten array is not iterable, so array dot push flatten array dot item, check item of that, and what was the error is that flatten array array result, right? Yeah, okay, one second. We need to debug because there is some array showing that. Uh, Otherwise, we need to write some other way how you can. You need to debug. Uh, why it will showing that? Because first of all, we take a array and in the constant we store that value and item array dot is array, right? So okay, what we did mistake here, right? In that in the return, so you need to pass that array. I think that line is missing, right? You can see, right? So you need to if you get any error, right, how you can understand, you need to, if you if you have a confidence of your code, right, so you write the correct log all this thing, right, so you need to have confidence your code, right, so you can debug and you can see the possibility what error you can make, right. So sometimes we can silly mistake we can make, right. So you can see I forget the line return that function result, right. So that array we getting, right. So we check the code line by line and we fix that issue, right. So interviewer was also impressed your debugging skill, right, how you debug, how you, because you not like how you tackle the problem, how you debug the problem, how you see the code, how you see the thing, right. So that thing in that thing you need to know. Yeah, after that let's go for the final question of the coding round. Mm. And there is one more I forget about that. There there is one more. Is one more way to, instead of making that large function, right? So you can make like this. Mm, yeah, there is one function. One concept is there, flat in finite, right? If you write that line, right? So okay, nested dot flat. hmm, right? So you need not to write the large function, right? That is a string. That is a modern JavaScript that it will give you, right? So I explained the trick also, right? How instead of, but if they want like that, like loop wise, so you need to follow that one. Let's go for the third question. That is very tricky, and more I think most of that person who appear the first time, they could not tackle, right? Because there is some trick here, right? So but I explain you while making a function, so don't worry if you follow my channel, so you can easily tackle and practice this kind of question. Make a function, hmm, extract the number, make a array, store that result, make a this. Similarly you can check if array and is array of item, the check res result dot push. You need to use exploit operator, and after that extract the number, that item. Otherwise, else if check type of item equal to number. That's the trick. mm, and return result. Mm, That's it. So what happened here? You can see here what we did. Extract. We check the it is item is array, right? Then push the extract number, and here we make one more loop, right? Expect operator and item. And here we check like a number of this item, right? Format type of that, and like this, right? So what was that? Is array item. Item is not defined. What happened? What happened? Sh- Okay, okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. You need to make one more loop because item was not defined. Okay, we forget that step. Let's make a constant item of ARR. Now we'll check. Hmm? Yeah, we get the output, right? So that the like coding question they asked, total 10 question, and they ask some theoretical question. So they ask what was the lexical scope, right? uh, give you some example and explain you, right? So I explain you what was the scope in JavaScript, right? Scope refer the accessibility and visibility of the variable of function different part of the code, right? So what type of the scope we have, like global scope, functional scope, block scope, right? So block scope is added in ES6 plus, right? So let's say right, let a, right, this is a global scope, right? A function, right? You can see the that is a functional scope inside the function B, right? And C has block scope, right? So if you run that code, right, so in the C part you get that error, and apart from that you can get that output, right? If you run that code, if you want, you can run. Okay. Okay, my function call that function. hmm, you can see abc, you get the value, right? That is a function scope that if you run that line, right, see references you cannot define. So so similarly we have like this example. mm, what a lexical scope is called the static scope. Its main function had determined its location, source code, and the nested function accessibility declaration. Okay, so you can see I give you the example also, like outer and outer side, inner function, inner function, right? So that accessibility variable outer function. So if you call that function, so even thought outer is not defined, right, inside the inner, so still you can access because of the lexical scope, right? So another example of that, counter count plus plus. If you use increment that pointer, so increment 1 and 2, right, you can get the value 1 and 2. So in increment can access count even thought define different lexical scope. So the second question they ask about the what was the memory leakage, right? Memory leakage happened when the JavaScript of a like program hold into memory RAM no longer needed but never released, right? So preventing the browser, you can use the garbage collector, for example, right? You can see if you make a function like that, right? Large memory leak push, right? Capture. So what going wrong here, right? Every time add call hug array is created, right? and array the capture here, right? It store leak array which never clean up, right? So even thought the hug data is no longer needed, so it cannot be target memory leakage, right? How you can prevent that thing? Make a like become global thing, right? And use late keyword and remove event listener when not needed, right? Like that. And clean up timer interval, right? Be careful while closer using the closer. Use weak set weak map for cache. Hmm. So that is the, and third question they ask what was the wave worker. So wave worker allow you run JavaScript code in the background, right? So in the if you want you PWA, if you PW progressive web app, right? So there is service worker working on the behind that thing, right? So similarly concept is that thread from the user, right? Why we use web? Because sometimes if we have don't no internet, right? So for the user not feel anything like your application is still working or running background, right? If we don't have internet or anything, right? Anything crash, right? So user not get any like bad experience. So in that case you need to use the web worker, right? So JavaScript run the single thread. If you perform something sequence and to track, like parsing large file or doing image processing, so it will not block user interface, right? Cause or page or freeze large thing, right? So in that case, you can use that part. So how you wave worker architects, main thread wave worker, right? Post message or message, they communicate like that, right? Create a file name and start working. And there is something you need. So how wave worker cannot there is some limitation in there. Wave worker cannot access DOM directly. You can terminate wave worker using worker.terminate. Heavy computation useful for heavy encryption, image file processing. Limitation cannot manipulate the DOM. Separate scope, no access of window document communication, right? Communication is asynchronous only, right? So this is the limitation that. Okay, then that is good for that. Best of luck, and that's it for now. If you have any question, you can ask me in the comment, and please like and subscribe my channel so you get the updated video. And please, if you have any doubt, right, please follow and subscribe my channel, right? So we get like motivation for that and make a really amazing video for you. Yeah. I'm putting a lot of effort if you like and subscribe that my channel. So I make that make me happy to motivate to make like making such more interesting video. Yeah, thank you everyone.